Well, congratulations to the legislature. I think you guys did an enormous amount of good things this legislative session. I'm really proud to see a lot of the stuff that came across the finish line. I mean, if you think about some of the things that we said we would do, that you guys said you would do, you followed through. You look at Florida. We're a law and order state. So we've been able, with the legislature really leading the way, we've been able to leave no doubt that this is the best law and order state in the entire country. We never bought into the canard of defunding law enforcement in the state of Florida. And in fact, not only have we have supported them, this budget that the legislature passed is going to, for the second year in a row, give a $1,000 bonus to every single firefighter, EMT, and police officer in the entire state of Florida. Thank you for doing that. And thanks to Speaker Sprowls for leading the way, the HB 3 bill that was passed that has $5,000 signing bonuses for new law enforcement recruits coming from out of state or even starting the profession from the state of Florida, millions of dollars for law enforcement scholarships, actually allows school choice for sons and daughters of our police. That piece of legislation is by far the most law enforcement friendly piece of legislation anywhere in the country. So good job, Chris, leading the way, and thank you, Wilton, for putting it across. And they've also, thanks to both Senator Simpson and Speaker Sprowls, our state law enforcement personnel are going to get the biggest pay increase they've ever had in the modern history of Florida. So thank you for standing by our men and women of FDLE, Fish and Wildlife, Highway Patrol, all those folks who work so hard to keep us safe. We delivered when it comes to law enforcement. We also delivered when it comes to education. If you look, the total education, support for education, is record numbers. Not only the total amount supported, but also if you look at per pupil expenditures. And this includes a record increase for teacher salaries. So thank you for what you guys have done to do that. We've done a lot to increase the average minimum salary. We continue to do that, but they also weighted it more heavily to have salary increases for teachers who are veteran teachers. This is going to make a huge, huge difference. And I think over the last few years, we've done about $2 billion of compensation increases for teachers between salary increases and the bonuses we did last year. So thank you, Senator Simpson and Speaker Sprowls and the members of the legislature for doing that. We also increased funding for mental health, which is something that's very, very significant. My wife, the First Lady, has worked very hard on that, so I want to thank you for doing that. I think if you look at what has been done both in terms of funding and in policy, this really was the year of the parent in the state of Florida. We took through the legislature's actions, Florida has maintained its commitment to accountability and high standards, but did it in a way that recognizes This one test, the FSA, is not the best way to do it. So we've replaced that with progress monitoring that'll be more friendly for teachers, for students. It'll give more feedback for parents, and it'll mean a lot less time having to take tests in school. So that is a huge win for parents, students, and teachers. We also provided curriculum transparency so that parents have understanding about what's going on inside the classroom, and I'm really, really proud to do that. And I can just say, as the parent of 3 kids that are age 5 and under, thank you for letting me and my wife be able to send our kids to kindergarten without them being sexualized. If you look at the transparency provisions, if you look at what they did to make sure that we're not treating people different on the basis of race, we in Florida showed a commitment to education, not to indoctrination. And I want to thank the legislature for doing that. If you look at what we promised to do with respect to the environment in Florida, in 2019, I promised to have record support for Everglades restoration and water quality. And our goal was to increase the funding by $1 billion over the previous 4 years before I became governor. And I'm happy to report that with this budget, not only did we meet that, we blew that goal completely out of the water. With the funding that was provided for Everglades restoration and water quality projects, we will have, over these 4 years, doubled the amount of support for those key initiatives than the previous 4 years. So I want to thank the legislature for doing that. The legislature has also continued our commitment to Resilient Florida. We've been able to launch a lot of great projects, and I know Speaker Sprowls was instrumental in that. Based on last year and this year, we will have a total of over $1 billion to those really important initiatives that are going to make our state stronger. So thank you for doing that. And then the tax relief package, I think, was the biggest we've seen in a long time. It was $1.3 billion, and it has relief targeted at the consumer staples, which are going up in record numbers, things like school supplies, gasoline, disaster preparedness. They even did, and this is something that the First Lady and I are very thankful for, and it wasn't my idea, give them credit, they did a tax holiday for diapers. So all of you know how much these diapers cost. I got my oldest is out of them. My middle kid's almost out of them. But I got the one little girl that still has a lot of diapers left, and so that is going to be a huge relief to a lot of parents throughout the state of Florida.